What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black, STEVEE, the Black. I'm back, and I'm here to give you another Austin era pay-per-view review. Um, it's been about a month, as I said it would be, because of how I watch things and everything as such. But let's just go ahead and let's get right into it. We are reviewing the 1998 Royal Rumble. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So first off, the pay-per-view kicks off with Vader taking on Goldberg in the opening contest. I give the match a C. It was okay. It wasn't exciting. Didn't really get me hyped up. The most memorable spot in the match was at the end when Vader's at top going for the Vader bomb, and I can't remember her name, but Goldust's girlfriend / manager, whatever, climbs on top of Vader as he's going for the Vader bomb. He hits the Vader bomb onto Goldust, and which also, I guess, knocks her out because she hit face first and allows Vader to get the win. Match was okay. Nothing too spectacular. Nothing out of the ordinary or memorable other than that one spot. But I gave it a C. Thought it was okay. Next, there was a 6-man tag team match. This match was boring. I did not care about it. I gave it a D. And the only reason it gets a D and not an F is because Sonny is the guest referee. Other than that, didn't care. Let's move on. Next, we had The Rock versus Ken Shamrock for the Intercontinental Championship. Good match. Pretty good match. Memorable spots for me was toward the end of the match. The Nation comes out to distract the referee. The Rock pulls out a pair of brass knuckles, hits Ken Shamrock with it, and then he puts it in Shamrock shorts. I'm thinking, that's weird. Why would he do that? 1, 2, Shamrock kicks out. They're going back and forth. Shamrock hits the belly to belly. 1, 2, 3. He is your new Intercontinental Champion. But then The Rock is telling the referee something. We're like, yo, what's going on? And so the ref, which I believe was Mike Chioda, I think, he goes and he's like, yo, did you hit The Rock or something? Let me check your shorts, right? Or trunks, whatever. So Shamrock pulls out his he reaches into his trunks and he pulls out the brass knuckles. He's like, yo, you hit him with the brass knuckles? You're disqualified. And my mind's blowing through all this because that does not work in WWE today, man. Like, once the referee's decision is made, most times than not, it's final. And so, to me, I'm just like, in my head, I'm like upset because I'm like, are you kidding me? That's how they're going to do it? I mean, it's very creative. I've never seen anything like that. It's very creative. But I'm like, why don't you just look at the replay? Like, I never understood why the refs never did that. It's on the screen. Look at the replay on the Titantron, man. Like, just look at that and you will clearly see what happens. But for whatever reason, they don't ever do that. They go based off their judgment. So he's trying to explain to him, no, I did not hit him with these brass knuckles. I don't know how they got in here, but it was not me. And so he's like, no, he takes the belt, gives it to The Rock. The Rock's still Intercontinental Champion. And so Ken Shamrock, obviously angered, rightfully so, gives a belly to belly to the referee and then gives him an ankle lock. And I was on Ken Shamrock's side the whole entire time because I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Again, very, very creative. I'm just like, that's so dope. Just look at the Titantron, man. Like, it was so unique is the word I would use. It was very unique. I've never seen that before. But for the match overall and everything, I give it a B. I thought it was very good, very entertaining. Got me upset and involved. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's how you're going to do this? Really? So, again, a B. Next, we have the LOD taking on the New Age Outlaws for the Tag Team Championship. Another great match. LOD was in control for most of this match because they're out for revenge because the New Age Outlaws just keep embarrassing them at every opportunity, every turn. The match is going LOD's way until Road Dogg gets some handcuffs, and he handcuffs, I believe, Animal to the ring post so they can gang up on a Hawk, but Hawk's holding his own. Hawk is holding his own, and he catches Billy Gunn in midair for a power slam. He's about to win the 1-2, but not Billy Gunn, but Road Dogg causes a disqualification with a chair shot. They're beating him down, hitting him with the back because he has back problems. Shouldn't even be competing in the match. But eventually, Animal just miraculously, with adrenaline rushing, breaks free from the handcuffs and goes and saves his partner, and that's how it ends. I'm gonna give the match a B. I thought it was very good, very entertaining, very good story behind it. It's one of those weird things in wrestling, man, where they're trapped, someone's trapped, right, and they can't get out, but then all of a sudden, when the match is over and their friends or whatever is getting beaten down, then miraculously, they're able to break free from their restraints and able to go save the day. I always found that funny. But then again, that's also kind of like real life. Like if a child's in danger and a mother or a parent or whatever all of a sudden has this adrenaline rush and are able to do things that people normally shouldn't be able to do. So it's very real and understandable, but I always just found it funny in wrestling, But a B. Next, we have the Royal Rumble match. And this is just for me personally, but I think this is how typically everyone works. So how I judge a Royal Rumble is memorable moments, right? What sticks out to me in this Royal Rumble the most? Well, going into this Royal Rumble, Stone Cold Steve Austin had a target on his back. For weeks, he had been taking people out left and right, saying, do unto others before they do unto you. So everyone's sitting there before the Rumble starts. They're looking for Stone Cold. Nobody can't find him. So now they're just like, all right, you know what? We're just going to wait for him to come out, and we'll gang up on him then. This is also a very memorable Royal Rumble because this is where Mick Foley came out as Dude Love, Mankind, and Cactus Jack. And it's just funny to me how you can come in the Royal Rumble 3 different times in the same match and fail to win. That's very, very how does that even happen? You have 3 chances to win this thing and you don't do it. That's kind of dumb. That's supposed to be to your advantage, but evidently not. So eventually we get to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, but before I get to that, it was funny how, so you normally know how in these Royal Rumbles it's every man for themselves, but if you're in a team or a group, they normally work together for a little bit, right? Well, that's not the case because the Nation of Domination, as soon as D-Lo was in the match, he and The Rock start going at it, then he and Mark Henry go at it, he and Kama go at it, and then as soon as Farouk comes in, he goes straight for The Rock and start beating him up. So it's like, they were already arguing, and you can see the cracks forming in the Nation, and The Rock starting to take over more in the Nation, and we all know where this leads to. I won't say anything, but if you know, you know. So, it's just funny how all of this is happening, taking place. It's fun to watch. But eventually we get to Stone Cold's turn. This is his turn to come out. His music hits. Everyone's standing there waiting for him. Smartly, he comes through the crowd from behind, starts attacking people. And for whatever reason, they gang over him for about 10 seconds before they start fighting each other again. Which doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but okay, whatever. So eventually we get down to the final 4, which is Dude Love, The Rock, Farouk, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and eventually Stone Cold gets rid of or was that Farouk? Farouk gets rid of no, my bad. Stone Cold gets rid of Dude Love, then Farouk starts beating down on Stone Cold. The Rock, then he was going to go do something, but then he waits and just lets Farouk do all the work. Then he takes Farouk out of the Royal Rumble, and then Stone Cold and The Rock fight for a little bit. Stone Cold Stunner, Rock gets tossed out, and Stone Cold is your winner of the 1998 Royal Rumble. For a Royal Rumble match, I thought it was okay. I gave the match a C. Again, it was pretty weak, honestly. I thought this year's past Royal Rumble, I thought that was way better than this Royal Rumble. And the first half of the Rumble was just Brock destroying everybody, So I mean, and then the second one, it was pretty much a normal Royal Rumble, but then you had the return of Edge and everything like that. So that bolstered it, and eventually Drew McIntyre winning. So even that one was way better and more exciting than I thought this one. Like, nothing really stood out except for those few moments that I really named. But again, I thought it was not bad, but it wasn't great either. So I gave it a C. And finally, we have HBK taking on The Undertaker in a casket match for the WWF Championship. Where do I go from here? Well, the match, obviously, every time Shawn and Undertaker get in the ring together, they always create magic. It wasn't on the level of their Hell in a Cell match from the year prior, nor is it definitely not on the level of their WrestleMania 25 and 26 matches, but I thought it was a pretty good match. For it really being no disqualification, China and Triple H didn't get involved as much as I thought they would. I mean, in a moment or so, they would get involved and attack Taker, but they weren't like just outright going after him. I mean, it was no disqualification. You think back to the pay-per-view before this, D-Generation X in your house. Every chance they got, they were going at Shamrock, but for whatever reason, they weren't doing that with Taker. I don't know why, but whatever. I guess because I think Triple H wasn't injured yet, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so eventually we get to a point where both Shawn and Undertaker get trapped in the casket together, and I thought it was going to be a draw, but nope, one of them has to be in there with the lid closed, so they keep going until one of them's in there. So eventually it gets to a point where Taker, I believe, he gives Shawn Michaels a jumping tombstone, like you remember the one from WrestleMania 26, a super tombstone, whatever you want to call it. He gives him a super tombstone in the casket. He's about to win, close the door. He's about to become WWF champion. But then that's when the Los Barricos and the New Age Outlaw come out and they start beating down the Undertaker. And I'm thinking, whoa, why did that happen just now? Did DX pay them off or something? I really don't understand, why this is happening.
Undulation bias. Whose job is it to do dishes? I don't want these dishes sitting in here all day until this evening. Come on.
Really need to remember to unplug the Alexa. Sorry about that. Where was I at? So Taker gets jumped. Eventually that leads to Kane coming out to help his brother, because earlier in the week Kane had helped Taker against DX. So Kane comes out, he cleans house, he gets rid of everybody, and then it looks like he's there to help, but eventually he turns on his brother. He attacks him, chokeslams him into the casket while Shawn Michaels escapes. They close the lid. Shawn Michaels retains the WWE Championship, and then out comes Paul Bearer, and they lock Undertaker in the casket. Then Kane gets an axe. He starts picking at it, and then he lets it on. And then he pours some gasoline on it, then lets it on fire. And that's how the pay-per-view ended, at least on the network. I don't know if it did that in real life, but that's how the pay-per-view ended. I'm always curious, so there has to be some, because they were legit, Kane broke through the casket. It's a wooden casket, and he pours gasoline in there. So wherever they put Taker at on the stage, there must have been a hidden door or something, because I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, well, they lit the casket on fire with gasoline. They really did that. So I'm like, how, that's my thing. There has to be, where they have them, there has to be a hidden door there, because there's no way, because obviously he's not in there, obviously, because he'd be dead. So that's my thinking of it. But I thought the match was good. Obviously, this Royal Rumble is famous for Shawn breaking his back. But funny enough, throughout the rest of the match, he looked completely fine. I couldn't tell him slowing down or anything. He looked fine. He looked great. He still looked like the showstopper, the main event. He looked like all of that. And, it was just... It was weird, man. It was weird. We know what happens and what this means, but just he looks fine. So, but at the end of the day, I gave the match and everything afterward a B. I thought it was a pretty good main event. So now, obviously, where we go from here, Mike Tyson was there. He was up in the what do you call it? He was up in the suite with Vince and Shane watching the show. He's gonna be on Raw the next night, so looking forward to watching that tomorrow. Obviously, we all remember what happens there with him and Stone Cold and all that stuff. So looking forward to that. But overall, I give this the 1998 Royal Rumble a C plus. I thought it was okay. It wasn't great. It didn't wow me. It was not going to be one of the most memorable Royal Rumbles. If I had to pick a match on here that I come back and watch, it would definitely be the casket match. And maybe Shamrock versus The Rock, because I thought those two were the best matches on the card. Those were the only two matches that actually got to be. Actually, no, it was actually LOD and New Age also got to be. But I thought those two matches, the Shamrock and The Rock, and HBK and Taker, I thought those were two best matches. So if there was any match I come back and watch, it'd be that. But again, I thought the whole card was a C plus. Wasn't great. It was just okay. One pay-per-view to go before we get to WrestleMania 14. So, I can't remember what the next pay-per-view is called. It's like Texas something. But we'll see if it can be better than the Royal Rumble. Maybe it'll be worse. Who knows? So, until next time, that's pretty much about it. Oh, before I go. So you guys know how I reviewed WrestleMania and all that stuff, right? Well, after that, I was going to lead into going back to reviewing Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views and everything like that. But with this whole, situation going on where there's no crowd and stuff like that, I really didn't want to do that. And I wanted to originally wait until, till we get crowds back. But I figured I might as well just go ahead and start now. So what I'm going to do, since there's no sports, we got the draft this week. So I'm obviously going to be talking about that. And I'm going to be talking about anything other Eagles related news or anything like that. But other than that, we don't have anything else to talk about on the channel. So I will start reviewing Raw, SmackDown, and current pay-per-views as well. Basically, current WWE. I'm going to start reviewing that again. I used to do that a couple years ago, but I had stopped because the Eagles views were getting more views than that. But, well, I need something to keep the channel going. And, with everything going on, there's no basketball right now, so there's nothing to talk about. So I'm thinking after Money in the Bank, I will start, giving my thoughts and reviews on Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-view. So just get ready to look forward to that. With that being said, that's pretty much about it. So let me know what you guys think about the pay-per-view, if it sounds good. Like I said, if there's ever a match for me to recommend, obviously the casket match between Taker and Shawn and The Rock and Shamrock. So until next time, if you're not down with that, I've just got 2 words for you. Peace out, and I'll talk to you guys later.